Was there a medical reason why you needed to have arms?
In my opinion, no. Welcome back to Toe Talks. Today we're going to talk about prosthetics, about our own personal experience with them, and what we think about them in general. So I actually want to start by telling you all that I wore prosthetics for 11 years. Every single day for 11 years I wore them to school. And not only that, but after school I went to numerous therapy sessions to learn how to use them. Learning how to hold a pencil between the hooks, how to hold a fork between the hooks and eat, and just do things like as basic as picking up items with the hooks. And for me though, this was a very difficult time because I was faster and more efficient with my toes. But I did wear them because it was advised that if I didn't learn how to use them when I was young, then I would never learn to use them as an adult if I chose to wear them as an adult.
So I have a question. So what was the point of wearing arms? Like, you say that if you didn't learn to use them as a young age, then you wouldn't be able to use them as an adult. What was the point of having to use them?
Because if you don't learn how to use them as a kid, supposedly you won't be able to use them as an adult. And what if I wake up on my 18th birthday and say, oh, I want to have those magical, high-tech prosthetics I saw on the news last night. I won't have that option is what the argument was. I wouldn't have the option to all of a sudden get them fitted for me or made for me and then be able to use them because I didn't develop the skill as a kid, which I didn't really understand.
Was there a medical reason why you needed to have arms?
In my opinion, no. I told people around me that I didn't want to wear them because I'm just as natural with gesticulating with my toes. And my feet are dexterous to do things. But the truth is my mom did take the medical advice from professionals and she thought, well, one day, what if my daughter does want to have prosthetics as an adult? And if they're saying she has to wear them now as a child, then I'm going to encourage her to wear them. So my mom said that I would wear them because the medical professionals said it was best that I wore them as a kid.
So she wanted to give you the option to be able to make your own decision as an adult to wear them if you wanted.
Exactly.
When I grew up as a child, they gave me the option. They're like, you can have arms, like we'll make you them, but you probably won't use them. And they showed me like this big wall of like unused arms.
Okay, really?
Kids would bring them back and like, no, I don't want to use these because they're heavy, they're cumbersome, they're hard to use, they're hard to put on, and the trying to learn how to use them, like you said, is very difficult. I think that the way you were taught is that you are putting on an arm. That is your limb. Okay?
Okay.
There's a difference between trying to learn how to recreate a limb and using a tool. So my prosthetic arm is a tool.
Just like the approach.
Just like my dressing stick is a tool that I use to help me get dressed in the morning. My arm is a tool.
It serves a function.
Yes.
Versus
It's a wrench.
Okay.
And a hammer and a screwdriver that I use to comb my hair and possibly, eat and do the dishes.
So I can totally see that. And I think at the beginning of this episode, I was a little resentful, as you could kind of hear it in my voice, because I was forced to wear them. But now I see that they can be advantageous. They can serve as a tool. And in your situation, they can save you from pain. So you are going to have to learn how to use them, though, and that's going to take time.
And the thing is that I'm adult, and I have mastered using it very quickly because I've got the mentality that it's not an arm, it's a tool.
I see. That's very different because I had kind of a bitter experience. And for me, it was so hard to understand, why am I wearing something that I don't need? So I think your story has helped me just have a better opinion about prosthetics because I understand how they're really making your life easier. And I appreciate you sharing that because I've always been resentful about what I had experienced for 11 years. And now
It's just your vegetables. Your parents and your doctors were just trying to give you your vegetables.
Okay.
It wasn't any harm.
Yeah, they were just doing the best they could do. In their opinion, coming from a person with arms, which are probably the doctors, the professionals, they think that a life without them would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from that perspective, they want to allow you to have the option of something that maybe you weren't born with. There are things that I can only do with my feet. And take, for example, eating with chopsticks.
Okay.
So why don't we...
I can see how eating sushi with chopsticks with a prosthetic arm can be very difficult and frustrating.
So can you use chopsticks?
I can.
And I can too. So
Yeah.
should we go out for sushi?
Okay. So going to a sushi restaurant and eating chopsticks with our feet, how many reactions do you think we'll get?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think they'll look over and see two armless people without arms eating sushi and kind of take a step back and say, whoa?
I think they'll be pretty impressed, considering it's hard enough for people with hands to use chopsticks. And to our viewers, do you think it's medically necessary to have a child wear a prosthetic, or is this a choice that parents make so that they can prepare their child to use the prosthetics as an adult? We're excited to hear your opinion. Leave a comment down below.